Hey there. Thanks so much for joining me today. Are you feeling like you've been having one foot in one door and maybe one foot in the other door? Are you kind of chomping at the bit, just waiting for this year to be over? You're not alone. Congratulations. You've actually been identifying with what we call your unique shadow side, okay, your unique shadow season. So every year around, October, November, we start to feel a little bit restless. Every one of us does. And we can start to feel that change is coming. We know this. We know this deep in our soul that something is changing and we just don't quite know what it is. So this restlessness is very unique to everyone, depending upon which personal year that you're currently in. So I'm going to help you to determine what your shadow season means to you personally, okay? Because it's very unique to you. So numerologists observe that our personal year begins on January 1st and it ends on December 31st. Now, I know some of you who are astrologers watching, you tend to believe that it goes from birthday to birthday, and that's okay. I'm not going to argue that. But as a numerologist, we do observe we go January 1st to December 31st. So the personal year is like a black and white template. It's the same for you. It's the same for me. A year of two is a year of two is a year of two, right? But our shadow seasons are what kind of make it a little bit more unique for us. So the personal year holds a unique vibration or a theme to it, if you will. And so this is an energy that is somewhat predictable in nature. So it's really, really good to know, and it's easy to learn. So we start in January with a full cup of whatever your personal year is on January 1st. We also have to take into consideration what the universal year is as well, right? We're going to get into that in a different video, but there is a universal influence as well. But right now we're just talking about your personal year influence. So January 1st, you're going to get a full cup of whatever your year is. And that's going to be spilling out over your calendar and influencing you every day until we reach about October and November. That's when we start to feel the shift because the cup is now nearly empty. So it begins to fill up with the next coming year's energy. Okay, so now we have 1 foot in the current year and 1 foot stepping into the next year. So for example, I am currently in an 8 personal year, right? So January 1st, I woke up with a full cup of 8. Every day that goes by, I'm being influenced by the 8. But as I moved into October, November, the influence of the 9 is starting to come in. So I've got 1 foot in the 8 door and I've got 1 foot in the 9 door, right? So we're getting a little bit of a mixed bag of fish right now. So it's okay, right? Because the dominant energy is the personal year that you're in. But coming into the fall, it starts to kind of tease you a little bit. And the water starts to come up over the threshold and it starts mixing with the water of this year, okay? So we have to know that we're sort of in a bit of a blend. So to determine your personal year, in case you don't know how to do this, it's really easy. All you're going to do is reduce your month of birth to a single digit, okay? Reduce your day of birth to a single digit, and then reduce the current year to a single digit. The current year is what we refer to as the universal year. So for example, let's say you were born on December 24th. Doesn't matter what year you were born. Let's just say you were born December 24th. Well, we know that December is the 12th month, but that's a double digit. So we're going to reduce it. 1 + 2 = 3. 24th day, that's a double digit. We need to reduce it to a single one. So 2 + 4 = 6. And at the time that I'm recording this video, it's 2023. So 2 + 0 + 2 + 3 = 7. So now all you're going to do is add your reduced numbers all together. So 3 + 6 + 7 = 16, another double digit. We're going to reduce that. 1 + 6 = 7. So the person born December 24th, who wants to know what personal year they're in 2023, is actually in a 7 personal year. So what I want to do is show you the shadow effect of each personal year affected by this shift. All right. So by now I'm hoping that you've figured out what personal year you're in. So let's go. So if you happen to be in a personal year of 1, you've probably been feeling reasonably ambitious, right? Because the 1 is intended to be the start of new things, right? So you're being a little bit ambitious and independent and bit of a leader, whatever you can be in the year of 1. It's all about planting seeds. So you've likely had more energy than usual and a big interest in starting something new. But as you shift into the shadow of next year's 2 personal year, you're starting to lose steam, right? That cup is almost empty. it's no longer just about you anymore. That's what the personal year one's all about, right? It's all about you, but it's not that way anymore. You're starting to feel like, it's me and somebody else, right? So the one personal year has been all about you, but the two personal year is going to be all about partnerships and collaborations, right? Teamwork, team effort. It's not about you being alone anymore. So your energy is making an enormous shift to something less ambitious, where patience is really going to be a virtue. For those of you who are currently in a personal year of 2, so if you're currently in a personal year of 2, you may have felt the need to rest a little bit more this year. It's, the year of 1 was a busy year. Coming to the year of 2, you want to rest and restore. So you may have felt a little bit less inclined to be independent, more inclined to spend time in quiet, more intimate relationships. And as you shift into the shadow of next year's 3 personal year, your energy is going to return. It's great, right? Your energy is going to return, and it's going to be encouraging you to be a little bit more social, a little bit more communicative. I can never say that word. You're going to want to talk more. This is going to be a welcome time, a real welcome time to expand your social life after a year of being a little bit more in solitude, right? When you're currently in a personal year of 3, it's quite different than the year of 2. So you might have noticed by now, one of the years, like a year of 1, throws you forward, and this next year, year of 2, brings you back. Rest. Because guess what? Year 3, throwing forward again. So we're kind of doing this a little bit, right? So we need to be in touch with what vibration is affecting us. So if you happen to be in a personal year of 3, you may have enjoyed a very social year, kind of a creative year. Creative juices have been flowing. Maybe you've been inspired to decorate your house, express yourself a little differently, maybe through writing, or even expressing yourself through wardrobe. Maybe you're shaking it up a little bit, bringing some color in, a little bit of style. This has been a really busy year that has lots of activity, but as you shift into the shadow side of the 4 personal year, it's time to get back to work. You're going to feel that pull back to work. It's like, I got to get more engaged in the process, and I got to be a little bit more responsible to my work. The 4 vibration is going to cause you to feel the need to get focused on whatever projects you're working on, to get a little bit organized, to develop a solid plan that's going to keep you a little bit more grounded and practical. Okay. When we are in a personal year of 4, when you're actually in the current year of a 4, you may have spent a lot of time focused on your work, right? Whatever it is you're working on, whether it's your work for your job, or whether it's working on a book or a project or whatever, you're going to feel very disciplined and focused. You may have spent a lot of time developing some strategies on how to keep you organized and on track, right, on task. You may have resisted the opportunity to play in favor of working all the time. So as you shift into the shadow of the 5 personal year, you're going to feel a little bit more restless. You've been cooped up for too long, right? You want to play. It's time to get out there and do something. It's time for adventure. It's time for change. But be careful not to squander all your money, as you will definitely feel like breaking free when you're in that personal year of 5. So try to maintain a balance of the foundation you created this year with the need for freedom that you'll be seeking next year. Next year is a heck of a lot more fun than what the 4 is. 4 is all about work, right? When we come into that personal year of 5, it's like we're taking that straitjacket off, right? We're loosening up a little bit. So if you're currently in a personal year of 5, you likely had your share of change, maybe a few unexpected events took place. The energy of this year was calling you out to play after a year of structure and commitment and routine and paying attention to the details and all that work stuff, right? The 5 is a fast-paced, anything goes kind of a year. But as you begin to shift into the shadows of the 6, you're going to find yourself feeling like you need to tighten the reins up a little bit. Here we go again, right? You can sense that it's time to become a bit more responsible, especially for your home and for your family. So the 5 vibration can have a selfish kind of an influence on self-indulgence, right? But the incoming 6 is asking you to be a little bit more selfless. When we are currently in a personal year of 6, you likely feel the pull towards the needs of your family. Could be even your community as well. Could be your work family. Everyone is going to want a piece of you, okay? You're just really stretched in 16 different directions. The demands on you can be really great. This has been a year of responsibility towards your home, towards your family, towards anybody who needs you. And maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad that hasn't been doing well, maybe a sibling. and they needed your assistance more than normal. That's quite common. As you begin to shift into the shadows of the 7 personal year, guess what, guys? You're going to have a big need to retreat, right? You are so done with everyone else's drama. Your cave is calling you, your man cave, your woman cave, whatever. We all have a cave. It's calling you now. So you need time to be alone, to reflect, to meditate. And this influence is going to get even more so the closer you move into the new year. When you are currently in a personal year of 7, you've likely felt the need to spend a lot of time by yourself, right? A lot of time alone. This has been a time of quiet reflection and introspection. You're taking inventory over the last 6 years, right? You're going to be taking inventory of your life while assessing the direction that you're going in. Am I tracking in the right direction? Do I need to change it up a little bit? You'll be giving a lot of thought to that in your 7 personal year. But as you shift into the shadow of the 8, your need to be alone is going to lessen, and you'll finally step out of your head, right? The time you spent in introspection has been useful, as you now have a little bit more clarity on what you hope to manifest in your year of 8. So the shadow season is going to be asking you to jump in both feet. But you know what? You want to wait until the complete shift into the 8 personal year before making any big decisions, because you may just second guess your decisions in the 7 personal year. Because remember, the 7 is a head case year. It keeps you up here thinking all the time. It's very difficult to make a heartfelt decision when you're too invested in your head. So I would encourage you, if you're trying to make a decision that's of any importance, significance at all, make sure you try to wait until you get into that personal energy of the 8. So when you come into that personal vibration of the 8, the personal year of 8, this is my favorite shift of all, right? Well, I mean, I am a 7, right? And I should say that whatever your life path number is, if it's a 7, it's an 8 or whatever, you're going to feel your personal year of a 7 or an 8 more so than someone else. So if you're a 2 life path number, you're going to feel a 2 personal year more than somebody who's a 7 life path number. But this definitely, coming out of the 7, getting out of my head and moving into the 8 vibration is probably my favorite shift of all. No, it's not probably. It is my favorite shift of all. Like last year's 7 personal year was intense, as it may have left you feeling quite directionless, unsure of making a decision, kind of floating on your own kind of thing. But when you shift into the 8 personal year, you finally have the clarity that you've been seeking, that you've been missing. Your confidence comes back. You're all hands on deck, ready to manifest your dreams. Like, you just can't wait to jump out of the gate. The 8 vibration is going to encourage you to step into your power. It's going to be asking you to set healthy boundaries as well as maintaining them. But as you shift into the shadow of the 9, it's a very interesting shadow because you'll start to sense that it's time to wrap things up. So you're going to begin to feel the need to put an end to things, right? You're going to begin to explore what has been holding you back. Now, this can be people, this can be stuff, it can be all kinds of stuff. And so it is when you are currently in a 9 personal year, you've likely been experiencing a need to purge many areas in your life. I find it interesting that when we're shifting out of our 8 into the 9, I know that, September, October of my 8 personal year, which is currently where I'm at right now, if it's not nailed down, it's not safe in my house, because I am getting rid of shit, right? I am digging in the drawers. I am tossing out anything that's not nailed down. So everybody gets fair warning in my house. So you do have this inherent need to just purge so much stuff. You're creating space, right? You've got to create space if the universe is going to bring you something new in your year of 1, which will follow the year of 9. So you're likely going to have a need to declutter your home, your life, your glove box, your desk, whatever. You may have chosen to look at releasing personal relationships that just don't serve you any longer, right? These guys just aren't in alignment with you anymore. You've grown, they've grown. It's all good. Or you might be examining some of your limiting beliefs. We all have them, right? You intuitively feel the need to release that which no longer fits. Right? You are cleaning house, you're making room, you're creating space when you're in your 9 vibration. But as you begin to shift into your 1 personal year in October, November, you may be feeling eager to start something new. Your energy returns, you're interested in starting something new, planting some seeds, planning for your future. It's big, right? At this time. But I want you to try to hold back from launching anything new in a 9 personal year. Typically, when people start relationships in a 9 personal year, they're short-lived. Start a business in a 9 personal year, short-lived, right? I'm not saying that this is gospel. I'm not saying that this is truth all the time, but typically it's not a really good time to start something of any significant importance. It's about looking around and assessing what needs to be released so that when you go into your 1 personal year, you're going to have your house all cleaned up, your mind's going to be all cleaned up, everything's cleaned up, your social circles are cleaned up so that you can really step into your future. And you want to be able to take advantage of that 1 vibration that's coming very soon for you when you're coming out of your 9. And now I want to remind you guys too that you're only going to see your personal year once in a 9-year cycle. Okay, so you got to know what your personal year is. You've got to know what it entails. So this is really an easy roadmap for you to follow. I really want you to stop just going aimlessly from 1 year to the next, because honestly, there's a plan in place for you. There is a guide, right? We actually do have a guide. And I know for those of you who are in a 7 personal year, you might be doubting that. Okay, been there, done it several times. But I want you to understand that this idea of the personal year is really important. Now, should you choose to do a reading with me at some point, I'm going to take it another step deeper that many numerologists don't even look at, and that is your essence. So the personal year is a huge contributor to how you're going to go through that year, but so is your birth name, right? How your name appears on your birth certificate. That creates what's called an essence, and the essence will take us a level much deeper. It takes us into a deep dive as to what the heck's going on. So if you're going through like a karmic debt influence, that's going to show on your chart. If you're going through something that's going to be hugely illuminating, that's going to be there on your chart, right? Wouldn't you want to know that? I know I would. It's just no question. I mean, it was the essences that got me into numerology in the first place. When I first learned about them, I just thought, wow, how can anybody not know this information? Anyway, you know what to do. If you want to book a session with me, just go to my website. But here's another need to know fact. So when you reach January of any given year, you're also going to be influenced by the effects of your previous personal year up until about the 1st of April. So this is another shadow, right? So we have a shadow from about October up until the 1st of April. The shadow from October to December relates to you leaving your current year and what's it going to feel like to go into your next year, okay? And once you get to January, you'll be feeling the effects of that new year, but you'll be taking with you a little bit from the year before, right? So you've always got a little bit of a mix of energy. So you're going to have, once again, in effect, you're going to have 1 foot in last year and 1 foot in the current year. Cool, right? So the other thing I want to mention too is if you haven't already gotten your tickets for the biggest event of the year, or at least my biggest event of the year, there's still time. And I would love for you to join us. We have so much fun in there. My 6 Psychics Under One Roof live event is scheduled for Sunday, December 10th at noon Eastern time. You need to be there. Check the link below to learn more. You don't want to miss this, guys, because 2024 is going to be like a year on steroids. It's going to be an 8 universal year. You can't miss this. So I hope that you'll consider sharing this message with your friends. Everyone needs a little guidance now and then, right? I really hope you'll do so. And I'm hoping that you are creating your best year ever. Take care, guys. Love you tons. Bye for now.